What happens, what I've heard is that on the day of the birthday, a very special energy comes on the day of your birthday, mm, from the soul. Probably my guess is it brings like a new plan for the upcoming year, something like that. I don't know much about it though, but I have a general understanding that different kind of energy usually shows up. Birthdays are not that important from the viewpoint of like birthday party and celebration is not that important from the viewpoint of soul, but this energy is definitely important. So yeah, yesterday went something like that. All right, let's begin, everybody. So for all your birthdays also, I will recommend usually that if you can, if it's possible for all of you, make sure that you spend good amount of time in meditation at least. You can do what is called as a twin hearts meditation. You can do also what is called as the soul meditation, by the way. That is a very, very powerful meditation and usually connected to your plan, your destiny, revival of destiny, different changes in plan, and the brain being able to register it, things like that. So, yeah, many times the problem is not that you're not meditating, many times the problem is that the brain is not able to register things. And so you have to be regular with your practices, right? All right, let's go forward. Invocation. To the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, thank you for your priceless blessings, for your divine light, divine love, divine power, divine healing, guidance, mercy, help, and protection. Thank you. To our great spiritual teacher, to all the great spiritual teachers, to all the great gods and goddesses, to all the great, great ones, we very, very humbly thank you for your great blessings. We thank you so much. We thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Let's do the be aware of the heart, the crown chakra. Say, Lord God, thank you for filling my heart chakra and my crown chakra with tremendous substance of love. Again, Lord God, thank you for filling my heart chakra and my crown chakra with tremendous substance of love. Before we go forward, I'd like to have a small word. When you do meditations on a regular basis, the chakras they become bigger, right? And after the meditation is over, they become again relatively small, right? Or whatever the usual size was. There's minor difference though. The size before and after, there's very minor difference that it's slightly bigger compared to the previous size. Not very much to be noticed after a single meditation, but it's usually significant. Like over a period of time, it becomes significantly bigger. When the chakras become bigger, over a period of few years of practice, significantly bigger, The performance of chakras in the real world, outer world, also increases by a large margin, which means what you say, what you think, what you act gets charged with tremendous amount of energy, and that creates a very solid impact on the world around you and your own life also. Which, by the way, means that you have to be very careful. Whatever you think, feel, say, and process, once the chakras start to become bigger, if you say something silly about somebody, that may actually come true. Um, I I shouldn't say anyways. Forget about it. So um, the effect of meditations on your life is not just to de-stress you, but it is also to evolve you. So the chakras become bigger and more powerful, and that is a really solid goal of meditation, to grow and evolve. Your growing and evolving, in short, means your chakras growing and evolving. Um, Something like that. All right. And then in the process of growth and evolution of the chakras, the system upgrades a lot. And as the system upgrades, there is many changes which will happen in the process. Um, Experience is to be a better word that you will undergo. Interesting stuff, basically. Be aware of the crown chakra, everyone. Your crown chakra is a portal or the gateway to your higher consciousness. Be aware of the crown. Let's mentally or verbally speak. Say, I am that I am. I am not the body. I am not the emotions or the thoughts. I am not the mind. The mind is just an instrument of the soul. I am the soul. Again, I am the soul. That is the truth. Now look at your life that you live here in the physical world, in the dramatic situations of your life, or in the hopeless situations, or in the too happy or too sad situations. Look at those situations of your life and say, I am the soul. Be aware of the crown chakra. I am the soul. Be aware of the crown. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being. I am not the petty human form. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I, the soul, am connected and one with my higher soul, your source of power, your source of strength. I, the soul, am connected and one with my higher soul. I, the soul, am connected and one with my divine spark. I, the soul, am connected and one with God. Connected and one with all. All right. Be aware of the heart and the crown chakra. Let's verbalize. Say, Lord God, thank you for filling my heart chakra and my crown chakra with tremendous substance of, sorry, say, Lord God, thank you for blessing me with awareness, with self honesty, and the will to transform myself. Again, say, Lord God, thank you for blessing me with awareness, with self honesty, and the will to transform myself. Again, Lord God, thank you for blessing me with awareness, with self honesty, and the will to transform myself. Thank you. Now, before we go forward, I'd like you to recollect past 24 to 48, maybe past 2 to 3 days, and look at all the good things you've done in the past 2 3 days, all the virtues you depicted, all the good things you've done. If you handled a situation properly, if you did your practices well, if you were kind to people, if you were generous with your time, if you were good to yourself, if you exercised, If you maintain your time schedule for everything, pat yourself on the back. All the good things that you've done, all the duties that you've perfectly rendered, pat yourself on the back. If you spend time with somebody trying to help them understand something, pat yourself on the back. If you resisted from gossiping, pat yourself on the back. If you took a serious thought about your life, pat yourself on the back. There are some areas you may come into your awareness which you were almost good, but something happened and you weren't like completely satisfied with the way you dealt with situation. For example, you did all the thoughts, your action was perfect, you were kind, you were generous, but somewhere in the mind there was something like, but why doesn't he do himself? Or like some little thought was there which wasn't which was imperfect. The same thing could have been expressed in your mind or verbally differently. For example, I hope the person gets to a position that the person can take care of him or herself in this area or blah blah or whatever that is. But this little thing doesn't make it perfect. You know what I'm saying? Try to come up with understandings in the sense that can you also bridge this gap? It's very good thing that you did. Very, very good thing that you said or you did or you whatever. But there's this one little thing which talks in the mind, or you did something which brought out your selfishness, which brought out your lack of understanding, which brought out your lack of willingness to adjust or adapt. Very mild, silly things, but it's very, very true. So this is so sort of important to understand, whatever we're discussing right now. But yeah, think about that. Think about that. This will usually expose to you things that we don't look at because we look at the good thing and we forget about this little black mark. And that black mark is very, very important because it basically means you still have exactly energies like those. You exist with black also. So instead of going down the negative side of whatever you did, I'm going to ask you to focus today on this these small black dots in a good white paper. By the way, it takes a lot more effort, to be aware of these little black dots. They're not so simple to be found, and they are the ones which expose the deepest recesses of our psyche much more openly if you have the ability to be aware. For example, you are going out, you met a person, you say, "Oh, hi, how are you? How is everything? All good?" Fantastic conversation. As the person passes you by, you say, "Took 5 minutes of my time. Come on, man." This little thing dropped it down. Or you could have said, you could have thought like, okay, I need to hurry up instead of saying that person took my time. You know what I'm trying to get to? The way this is a black mark now because there's a tendency to blame other people. You understand what I'm saying, right? There are many more examples like this, but then you have to find it out on your own. For example, you were say. Let's say you were strolling through a park and you see a beautiful little child, playing, and you admire the child. Like you say, "May God bless the child," so and so and so, and then something little happens. The child does it does something funny and stupid, and you're like, "Parents could have trained her better," you know. Suddenly, the attention moves from what was good, beautiful, appreciative to uh, focusing on the ugly and making a version in your mind of what it is and reacting to it also, by the way. So this, by the way, helps you understand that we exist. There are two things inside of us, right? The good and the not so good, right? Or our perception of what is not so good. Make sure that in your practices you cover this, very important. You see the good thing that you've done, but you're also aware of these little things which expose the way we think also very much. This needs to be You need to become aware of these things in the situations or in the reflections now, and actually learn properly to deal with it. I'm going to give you some time. There's no reading more. I don't know if there's anything to read more, but this is my personal experience which I'm sharing with you right now. But here's the thing, I'm going to give you some time to reprogram this. For example, like I told you, the first example, second example, there are many more in your life also, but you will just spend some time reprogramming this. For example, instead of doing this, saying this, or thinking this, I would have said, done, or thought. Instead of that, I would have done this. Try this for some time. In the process, you will also understand what weaknesses are getting exposed. Sometimes it is your selfishness. Sometimes it is your eccentricity about some things, obsessiveness. Sometimes it is your um, some kind of trauma being exposed. Sometimes it's lack of humility being exposed. You just There's pride in your system. Low self-esteem sometimes get exposed. Multiple things. While trying to reprogram it, also be aware what is exactly getting exposed. Like sometimes in a good conversation you're having with somebody, you're talking say about pranic healing or whatever, or your journey in spiritual path or whatever that is, and you're doing good, very good conversation, and eventually you end up saying something which is not true. which is a lie. And you give a supplementing fact to your lie just to cast a stronger impression sometimes that you've experienced something which you haven't actually. For example, so these are plain lies. They didn't need to be there. You can just be honest and say, you know what? Somebody else's experience is like this, not mine. This little black mark in the whole white good conversation. All right, now let's purify. Imagine the sun in front of you, big sun. Be aware of the heart and the crown chakra. Please verbalize. Say, Lord God, thank you for completely extracting out all the negative thoughts and emotions, negative entities and elementals from my entire system. Please verbalize from my entire system, from all my chakras, and please sacrifice this to the great Sun God. Thank you so much. Again, to the great Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, thank you for completely extracting out all kinds of negative thoughts and emotions, negative entities and elementals from my entire system, from all my chakras, and please sacrifice it to the great Sun God. Thank you. Once again, to the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, thank you for completely extracting out all kinds of negative thoughts and emotions, all kinds of entities and elementals from my entire system, and please sacrifice it to the great Sun God. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you so much. Again, be aware of the heart and the crown chakra. Say, Lord God, thank you for blessing me with purity in thought, with purity in speech and purity in actions. Please bless me with greater awareness of my thoughts, of my words, and of my actions. Please bless me with tremendous awareness, greater awareness. Say, Lord God, thank you for this great, great blessing. Say, Lord God, may I, with your blessings, may I do my best to remove all these small black spots that have come to my awareness. May I be highly truthful. May I be highly virtuous in terms of love, non-judgmentalism, non-criticism, in form of non-stealing. May I always keep my word. May I always keep my promise. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Closing invocation, everyone, to the Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother. Thank you for your great blessings. Thank you so much. to our great spiritual teacher, to all the great spiritual teachers, to all the great gods and goddesses, to all the great, great ones. We very, very humbly thank you for your great blessings. We thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Take care. See you tomorrow. And I hope this session helped you understanding deeper layers of your character, the way things are. They don't always express in very bright, negative, black ways. They expect sometimes as dots in a white paper, black dots. Hard to trace, very hard to trace sometimes because the good thing is so big that the black things or the black marks are not even seen. It'll take you more time, most likely, to get a deeper understanding of this. But as you start to observe more and more, you will realize it's almost evident to the eye. Take care. God bless all of you. And thank you. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Have fun. See you tomorrow. Thank you.